Okay, abuzia ba makwa ba sonko so edeba Ghana politics avenue so abuzia yembonra yensemu akonta mining latest update abuzia akonta mining case no eda so ewo court a nyambo echina 1st January 2026 and abuzia sisi a ba bewura 2026 in mu no vice president to president former president Akuffo abusunya Dr. Bawumia allegedly the mining concession illegal mining concession and paying for Akuffo so ewo Ashanti regional abusunya we dey Mustafa Bande na amaye sa hint na or say NPP executives no bebre na mining concessions no bebre na illegal mining no omo to aguso a omo ya NDC eguso so anu eno ntino amachama wontu many case no ewo court asisi a Dr. Bawumia mum ne mining concession na yakwa so ewo Ashanti region mom yanko na yankonkoti ensima Mustafa Bande elituja and Solomon Owusu on illegal mining. Abusuya Solomon Owusu deal with those involved in illegal mining. Government appointees former government appointees involved. Me corner young konkuti and some course. So unsubscribe subscribe, like and share my Akuffo so answer into me and kabi Ghana politics avenue so madam say.
Because the party cannot stand on its own. The party must drive on the legacy of the president. The president is the forebearer of the party. He is the one who is steering the vehicle of the party. What the Kogota. If President Mahama fails, it doesn't matter how strong, attractive the party is, we have failed. So we must be interested in managing our internal disaffections, our internal disagreements. We must be reasonable at how we entrench ourselves. Say, I can disagree with you, but it is not to the extent that I must seek for your destruction because you are part of the machinery and the body that regulates the party. When we observe these things, then we have a party to go. But Sankrophonians can the party then people will be forced to demonstrate their strength.
Who too good?
I used to be a consultant for anti-illegal mining, community engagements, and other mining related. I used to consult for years. I consult for mining companies.
But who too good?
I've never pay gold to that. What is a gold to that? I have friends who are into small scale mining and all sort of things. I can call for them to give me gold, but I don't need it. Me cram pet sadian. Me cram pet agudi. I'm a very simple, and I have been your brother, Masasa. I'm a very simple young man who knows my desire is not to have gold. My desire is not to have too much money. Because I'm a powerful person by nature. Who discover me, I'm the bidding kwasasem. So I'm very content with what I have. To this will be said Mustafa too good. Now the appointees and no ministers, no more judges as no more too good. Now our national executive be more too good. And I can take you to their sites. A Bimukras and Bawumia was site to Ashanti region. I didn't believe it. I have not seen it, so I don't believe it, but I've heard it. Just as you may hear of other people.
Go to the Akan areas, of course. The Alodia owners are the stools, right?
Yeah.
And you come, of course, it's only you go to the Volta and some of those where we have the families as the Alodia owners. Now, subsequently, if they look on the chiefs from what he's saying, and their lands are dissipated, where we even have cocoa farmers who have had a generation of farms, having been in that industry, trading that for the gains of what they'll get from illegal mining. It also means that the current strategy needs to be tweaked. There has to be more human intervention by way of stakeholder engagement and persuasion, making sure that we provide alternative for them to mine legally or sustainably. So we're not like stopping what they are doing, but we are saying that make sure that you use the right sort of chemicals, the outcome or the residue of whatever liquid is treated you reclaim the land, etc. Because that's what we're not doing right. So something has got to give.
Yes, but the point is that I am not of the school of thought that chiefs has to be blamed. They have no business being blamed when it comes to Galamsey. It's checking of government's responsibility. Because Article 2576 is so clear. And it's the reason why when you read page 77 of our GTP, if you can read page 77, the X, this is the GTP.
Page 75.
77.
77. Okay.
Go to the last.
I've seen the X.
If you can read.
Is it the X one or X is amend Article 2576 to establish traditional authorities as co-trustees with the president.
Yes.
In respect of all mineral rights in Ghana. And Article 257 says.
Article 2576, where it is saying, says that every mineral in its natural state, under or upon any land in Ghana, rivers, streams, water courses throughout Ghana, the exclusive economic zone, and any area covered by the territorial sea or continental shelf is the property of the Republic of Ghana and shall be vested in the president on behalf of, in trust for the people of Ghana.
If that's what the Constitution says, why do you want an amendment so that the traditional authorities become co-trustees?
So that is the point that Asibe was making, that we have to hold chiefs responsible. How do you hold a chief who has no power under the Constitution? All minerals are vested in the president. So if there is any responsibility, liability, you must place it on the president that indiscriminate or Galamsey is happening. For you to be able to accuse the chiefs is to make them co-trustees. To vest some of the powers in the hands of the chief, so that when we come to your area and we find out that there is Galamsey going on there, we can then hold the chief responsible. It is lack of leadership. It is because of the fact that the governments, the successive governments, have been complicit in the Galamsey fight.
Because what you're saying is that you can't just confiscate someone's land, because the Constitution grants them
because
the right.
First of all, he has no power.
If you want to do, you have to do compulsory acquisition.
Absolutely. And even if there is a chief whom you know has given a land, all that the government has to do is to go and grab that chief, grab him, throw him into any cells or jail, and then we go away. Because he has committed a crime. He has no such powers. And that is why more chiefs complain that they will be living in their villages. Somebody will come from Accra with a permit from the EPA, from the Minerals Commission, and from the Lands Commission, and then say that I have been given the permission to come and mine. In my village, Ampunya, those that went to the heritage mining company that went and did that despicable act, the chief didn't have any clue about it. All they said was that someone had granted them permission in Accra. But one of the crime scene institutions we have had is the Minerals Commission. This business of responsible mining. Roland, before you are given a license to mine, you write what we call a business plan. In the business plan, you enumerate, you state how you are going to do responsible mining, how you are not going to destroy the land, even how you are going to reclaim the land. Because of how corrupt they are, they don't go and monitor. They don't monitor anything. They allow them to do things with impunity. And then they come and tell us, they give a beautiful nonsense as a response. If institutions are going to work, we will not get to where we are. So for me, it is about time, because Galamsey is an existential threat. You live in your house far off the Galamsey areas, but remember you eat tomatoes. Remember you eat cabbage. You remember you eat food. You will drink water that has been polluted from somewhere. An innocent soul then dies out of that. And we say what? Meanwhile, our economic situation cannot afford, our hospitals cannot even support the levels of diseases that comes out of this Galamsey.
Creating a public health crisis.
That is it.
Creating a public health crisis.
That is it. That is it.
Okay, so that's why you're not rating.
No, I'm not rating.
He's saying 5.5.
No, I'm not going to rate anybody. I will only rate when the water bodies are clean. You see, we put, first of all, this government was voted for into office for a number of days. That's 1,460 days.
You've calculated a day?
Yes. President Mahama has 1,460 days. Already 365 is almost out of it. So you take it out, we are left about 1,100 something. I will rate him after his tenure to see whether indeed he was able to bring the stability levels very down. But where we are now, I'm not going to rate. Let's see what you do. But we'll continue to push him.
Okay.
It's the reason why we gave him the great transformation. You see, I quoted from the great transformation.
You even visited him.
Yes.
With, your leader, Alan Chairman, saying.
But we will encourage him to succeed. Indeed, it is in our interest that the president succeeds. It must not be in the interest of any Ghanaian that the president must fail so that when you get the opportunity, you want to go and continue. If we had pushed President Akuffo to succeed, we would not be having these despicable acts, situations where he himself was exonerating the Galamsey campaign. Oh, when the whole country.
Oh, solo.
Oh, but Akontamani, his own Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, said they were engaged in illegality. They issued a statement to that effect. The Minerals Commission then said that it took the president who said he was going to put his presidency on the line to go and stand in Koforidua and say that Akontamani was never engaged in any Galamsey. How can Carlos? And the man is being paid. That's what pains me. After destroying the country, he's been paid in his house. Now he's in the UK chilling.
We have an emoluments committee set up.
We have to review. That's what the constitutional. You see, the constitutional review must take into account whether or not a president performed before his entitlements will be given. Other than that, what we are doing is that we are only promoting laziness in government. Right. You just come and mess up, and then when you are gone, we will pay you every month. Is that the right way to go?
Engineer Ashigbe, please stay with us, because is it that the strategies that have been adopted are not punitive enough? So, for example, we see a number of incidents where even NIMO's personnel go to communities and there's resistance from the community members. All right? There's complicity of individuals in official or public office where they turn a blind eye and allow the perpetration of these acts. And so there's a two-way or two-side to the narrative, where the communities, where the exploitation is ongoing, are beneficiaries one way or the other, because there's an economic livelihood around illegal mining, and the government also has to deal with it frontally with the task force and the strategy, Blue Water Guards, NIMOS, etc. And we, at the top of the whole conversation, say that it has to be tackled head on. So why is that strategy is not working?
Roland, it's not working because it is the powerful in society that is doing this illegal business. Let me tell you, all the inputs, accoutrements, equipment that you need in doing Galamsey are very expensive. I mean, how many of the locals are able to buy excavators or even rent excavators? It is the powerful in society that you call the honorables. They go and convince the locals who are poor that, oh, when Galamsey comes to your area, you will make some decent living, which is not the case. I'll give you a typical example. For those that were traveling to the Elembele and those areas, before mining got to that area, rent was so cheap. I went to conduct some surveys there. But with the advent of mining in the area, now it's highly expensive for the locals to even rent. Food. You go to mining areas like Obuasi that used to enjoy, oranges and stuff at a very cheap price. Now they are having to depend on foodstuffs from far areas, which is becoming very expensive because they were told that when mining comes to your area, you make a decent living. No, it's not true. It's the powerful in society who are doing that, and you must call them by the name. I'm very happy you brought in NIMOS. And here, let me salute whoever brought the idea of NIMOS. Together with the personnel there, Keneboa and Co., they are doing a yeoman's job. That is one positive with this administration. They were straight on, they got it right. And I believe that if they are going to allow NIMOS to work, we may deal with it. But there are a lot of negatives with the fight against Galamsey with this administration. I believe that entering into 2026, the president, together with his administration, must sit up and deal with it. Look straight into his own party financiers, people in government, and tell them enough is enough. Ghana ranks sixth when it comes to countries, leading countries producing gold. You have the China, you have the Russia, you have Australia, you have Canada, you have the United States all coming before Ghana. Why is it that we are not experiencing these levels of destruction in the environment? The last time the Ghana Space Science Technology Institute came up with a figure that was so astonishing, they tell us that 60,000 hectares of our lands have been destroyed. And for the emphasis here, 60,000 hectares of land equates to 84,000 football fields. That's what has been destroyed. A young man by name Colin Safu Ejapon, working with NIMOS as a private soldier, and for education, to become a private soldier, is to go through this by application form, first of all, go through the recruitment that's got 6 people dead. After that,
he's a soldier, but his rank is private.
Private.
Okay.
Go through training for 6 months. This man is deployed by 9 months to the Obuasi area. And he dies. He was buried just the 19th of December. We had the EPA boss go to Obuasi, Professor Kluche. The woman was chased
out.
You interviewed her here on this platform. Your EPA boss, and what even freaked me with her account was the fact that someone in the crowd was directing her. Don't use the Obuasi route, use the Dunkwa route. How did that person in the crowd got to know that the place was so insecure and that people were trailing her? It means people were complicit.
Within the administration.
Within the administration. And it comes back to the point that Kenashibe was making. That how can we have an MC in Obuasi, an NIB person in Obuasi, a national security person in Obuasi, and we will still have this despicable act, and the person is still drawing salaries from the state? Mr. President, 2026, do us one favor. Any community that you see Galamsey happening, sack the MC, sack the police commander. I am expecting the Obuasi police commander banner should have been fired.
And if it's not done?
That means you are not fighting Galamsey. It means you are only bitching about the bush.
We're paying lip service.
Paying lip service. Because you cannot have Galamsey openly. And the people were bold enough. They were wearing CID attire, confronting a woman. They are so callous. They are not reasonable. They saw the EPA boss to be a woman. They could have even considered that, oh, this is a woman. They wanted to kill her. So if they are ready to kill a woman, how much more me, you and I? Let the state be weak and there will not be any state. So the president must up the game and go after the kingpin. You remember Kenebua telling the entire world that his life was saved by grace at a Sutivi North. What has happened to the MP? Kwakwado.
He's standing trial.
He's standing trial, and then that trial
is in court. So
that matter is where?
He's in court. The man is appeared before. Was he?
La ilaha illallah. Now, what about? Is he alone standing trial? Because he mentioned Colin Dada's name. Remember? What has happened to him?
That depends on the investigation.
That depends on the investigation.
If your name is mentioned in anything, you should be.
So what I'm saying is that, Jofas, the Ghana Standard Authority tells us that the acceptable turbidity levels of our water must be 5 NTU. 5 NTU. As we speak, we are doing about 11,000. So I'm not here this morning to grade, to give 1:5. I will only be happy when the NTU comes back to a reasonable level because it does not discriminate. And I want to entreat every Ghanaian to be visiting the emergency unit of Kolebu Hospital. And there you would appreciate how people are dying like chicken. We are fast-tracking our exit from this world. And you see, anytime 9 months raise a site, one thing happens. They always confiscate guns. You know what it means? We are building bandits. Nigeria now has to deal with bandits at Sokoto and Zamfara. Now they have to rely on strikes from the United States. We cannot be in this country where a group of people think that they are above the laws. Remember what happened on the 18th of January 2025 when some group of people in Obuasi entered forcibly the mining site of Anglo that led to 8 people dead. So the fight, we must up it. But the most important thing is that politicians must look straight into their faces. There are ways of doing responsible mining. Nobody is saying that you cannot do responsible mining. Go through the mill, go through the training, and get the requisite skill. The state must help in that direction so that we get mining companies that are responsible. If it could be done in the Russias, it could be done in Australia, it could be done in Canada and the United States, why can't it be done in Ghana? that we are destroying our environment, thinking that we are doing anything serious because we are looking for money. You are looking for money at the expense of who? And this business of increased employment, no, we must not entertain it. What about areas that do not have gold? That they are not doing money? I don't know they're surviving. So we shouldn't go there. Then armed robbers will also come in and tell us that, yeah, because they are not getting jobs, that's why they are robbing. That's not how we build a country.
And for example, Shadrach, show me the video. Show me the video of the Professor Tr0ǔblě who was chased. The EPA boss.
She was chased, the woman, and you know,
there are even other videos where the NIMOS personnel deployed in some other areas.
Yes.
You have barricades of fire, etc. That's been lit by the community.
Absolutely.
Preventing them from making entry into the community.
So that is the point.
Okay. So that is why. That is why.
Okay. Abusia winner and some so our political highway. So Mustafa Bandi and I in Kase Odessa and some no tuja de Amaya. Dr. Bawumia and mining concession. Yapakopi. So Abusia Yabadamase some Japan Kokutisa and some way de Amaya. Ghana politics avenue so.